Hey guys, I am so excited for tonight. I'm so excited to have Hannah and Amber here who just promoted to Diamond in the month of April and they earned $15,000 more bonuses. So congratulations to both of you. I'm so proud of you guys. I'm just so excited for you guys to share your knowledge and share all about you. So let's start with your stories. Hannah, since you're unmuted, I'm gonna throw it to you, girl.
Okay, so I joined in July of 2018. I was a loyal customer first. I signed up with, I think, the Wraps and Fat Fighter. And then there was a promotion going on my fourth month as a customer where you got the Fit 5 included in the enrollment. And I was like, well, I need that. So I just enrolled for the products. And then my enroller did an announcement post, and I was like, oh, okay, she was for real. I guess I need to do something. So then I kind of started just going through it. A couple months later, I decided that I was going to get braces for the second time. And so my mom was like, yeah, I'm not paying for that again. So I was like, okay, well, I can just use this to pay braces. So I initially only started for $300 a month just to pay braces. When I did start, I was still living at home. I just graduated college. I was working two part-time jobs. I am a licensed massage therapist, so I was working as a massage therapist and then working at the pool as a swim coach part-time. I eventually kind of gave up massage therapy to just coach, which is what I do now. But I pretty much just kind of went through the motions. I didn't really push for any ranks. I didn't really push for any bonuses. I went to conference 6 months later in January. I was really excited afterwards, and I was only executive then, and super excited. Then, like the next month, February, March came around, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever again. It just kind of blew off. I didn't really push for it. And then I actually went through a lot of personal stuff. Starting in May, my mom had almost 10 years clean, had relapsed, and I have a younger special needs sister. So a lot of responsibilities just kind of fell on me. I quit one of my jobs, and here we go, emotional. And it was just really hard for a really long time. So I put this on the back burner, and then I got engaged in October, and I was like, okay, enough with excuses. I've got to do something. Like, I need the money. I need to do this. So my enroller had kind of quit the same time I didn't really kind of bounce back. And so Tiffany became my next upline, and she's great. She kind of took me in. We went to conference this past January, and it completely changed everything for me. She was like, you're going diamond after the announcements. And I laughed. I was like, that's crazy. I'm not even boxed for ruby yet. Like, I had less than 900 BV in January. February promoted to ruby, and then March emerald, and then diamond last month. So everything completely changed for me right about the time I got engaged. And then going to conference was entirely different. Just the environment, being around everybody was so excited. And then all the positive energy, like, you got this, you're going diamond, right? You're going to get that bonus, right? Like, we're going to do this. So yeah.
I love that. And I haven't heard your story before, so that's awesome. Incredible. Okay, Amber, I'm going to toss it over to you and we'll just bounce back and forth. Here, there you go.
Here we go. Okay. So my name is Amber, and I'm an EMT who worked in the ER for several years, and I joined this business last April after following Kelly, and I really just wanted a few extra $100 a month. We were doing some outside work, and I wanted all the pretty things and what have you. So that was in April, and then at the end of May, I, from a car accident, was put off of work with my back issues. So that was the end of May. And then come June, I decided, well, I'm sitting at home with nothing to do. So I started working the business. And at that time, they had some bonuses that I thought, well, I didn't really even understand everything. I was just like, oh, I might be able to get a bonus. Let me just work this business. So in June, when I started working, I went Ruby in June, in that month. And then I started really just like kind of the ignorance on fire. I was excited. I was loving the customers. I was doing my host to post, and everything was just kind of like going and going. And then that's when I kind of started thinking, okay, I'm just not going to stop here and I'll go on to Emerald. Throughout this whole process, my job was kind of up in the air. I was, doing physical therapy and doctor's visits and what have you. And so I wasn't really sure if I was going to be able to go back. So when that was decided, or in that process, I decided I would just try to make this my full-time income. And so that's kind of when I decided, okay, I'm just going to keep on going. I wanted to skip Emerald, but I knew, that really wasn't happening. That wasn't a possibility. You have to hit Emerald first. So I went to conference. After conference, I hit Emerald in March and then Diamond in April. So here I am.
So both $15,000 bonus earners, which is absolutely incredible. And I want to add, before I go back to Hannah and start with the next question, Amber watched me, you guys, for how long do you think you watched me?
Well, I looked the other day and it was like 5 to 6 months.
Okay. So she watched me for 5 to 6 months. We hadn't talked before the day that you reached out to me, right? Okay. So we had never talked. She watched me for 5 to 6 months. And then she reached out one day about the products, but then was like, maybe we should talk about the business too. And that's kind of how our conversation evolved. So it's on me. It's my bad that I had never reached out to her before that. But we had a lot of mutual friends because we both worked at the same hospital. And so it just goes to show, when you think people aren't watching, people are watching you every single day. They're watching everything that you do, everything that you post, and it may take them 5 or 6 months. It may take them years to jump on board. So that is just an amazing example of why it's so important to be consistent. Hannah, let's talk about so going Diamond this last month, like, when did you make that decision? I know you talked about conference. Was it after conference? When did you make that decision? And then what did this last month look like? Like, I don't know if you're still working. You said swim coach, yes. So like, obviously quarantine kind of has everybody in an abnormal, but like, what does your day-to-day look like? What are you doing every day for your business to go Diamond? Like, what did that look like?
So I work in Parks and Rec. I am a head lifeguard, so I work in management as far as schedules for lifeguards and trainings. And then I'm the head swim coach, so I have an entire program under me. So of course and I work for a city. So with everything closing, we are closed to the public. However, we're still having to go in and sit there for 30 hours a week and do absolutely nothing at a desk. So I had a lot of time to work. Of course, the first 2 weeks we were doing nothing but cleaning everything. But then my mom actually tested positive for COVID-19. So after being direct contact, I was quarantined for 14 days. So then I was stuck at home doing absolutely nothing and working. So a lot of times I send out all of my messages for host to post at night. I try to, and then I can reply the next morning. I usually only try and get one giveaway post up a week. That way I can kind of stretch it out so I'm not continuously posting about it, just kind of for urgency. But of course, I put another one up if I need to. But being in quarantine, I had a whole lot of time on my hands. A lot of times that I would just not want to do anything just because I felt like I had done everything. And so like everybody always talks about the daily 6 list. So there were some days I probably did that like 10 times. It was that bad some days, but it was probably when I hit Ruby in February, I was like, okay, that wasn't bad. Like I had made it this big scary thing for so long, and I was like, only like certain people can get that, and then I hit it and I was like, okay, well, I'm not that far from Emerald, let's just go for it. And so then I went for Emerald, and then I was like, wait a minute, I can still get that bonus, and I'm not that far. So like I said, I did daily 6 lists sometimes like 10 times a day, and I pulled out, I don't know how, but on like the 27th, it finally read paid as diamond. But yeah.
I love it. I love it. Okay, Amber, day in the life of going diamond.
So right before the quarantine happened, I was just getting, because sometimes I'm not as organized as I should be, and I'm kind of all over the place. So right before that all happened and school was still in session, I was just getting my whole routine down of when I would work my business and when I would clean my house and when I would do, all the things. And then school was home. So April was obviously crazy. We were home, but I have a 9-year-old that's at home, and then I have a granddaughter that comes over often. So I would just work my business in between, but I made sure that obviously getting up my host post every day, um, doing all the things like adding to my friends and messaging and following up and what have you. So I made sure to do all those things each day, and just basically I had to get out of my head. So it took me a while to go emerald, and I had to get it out of my head that I had to prove to like my husband or anyone else, basically, that I had to realize, okay, I don't have to prove myself to anyone. This is something I want. So I just need to focus and let everything fall into place. And that's kind of when everything started falling into place. And when I first joined, I didn't do like self-development or anything like that. And I would always hear people talk about it and think, oh, okay, they read books or whatever, they journal. And then I started doing it. And so that became, now it's a daily thing. I journal, I pray, I read in the mornings before I work my business. And I really feel like that kind of sets the tone for my day. And just, I began to pray, obviously, for like distributors, that God wanted to have benefit from the business in one way or another, and continue to bring me customers that I could help in some way, either feel better about themselves or live healthy. And then I actually, just the past couple months, I really started praying. Each time I get a customer or something, I pray for them. And that's kind of like what I do differently now than when I did to begin with.
I love that. Okay. And you guys, if you have questions, drop them in the chat because we'll have a little bit of time at the end to answer any questions. Okay. So I had a thought and now I lost it. This is why I wrote down notes. So, typical day in going diamond. Okay. Customers. If you guys don't know exactly how many you signed last month, that's okay. But how many customers did you sign last month when you were promoting? Ballpark.
33.
Okay. Amber?
58.
Okay. So like that tells you, and they both have said, yes, they have a list of things that they do every day for their business, but what's the main thing? Like if there was a day where like nothing was going right and your kid was sick or whatever, something went strangely wrong. What is the one thing, if you could do one thing for your business, what would you do? Income producing.
Aside from host to post.
I mean, well, host post is income producing. So
stories.
okay.
Even if it has nothing to do with anything, my stories are always loaded. Like there is one new, try to be most of the time, new within the hour, like like all throughout the day. Even if it's random stuff like vacuuming the floor and seeing the lines because it's so satisfying. to making keto coffee or whatever it is, but it's always stories. Like I may not post on Instagram and I may get behind on a post from here and there on Facebook, but my stories are always done because that's what people are flipping through. Like when they just don't have time, that's what they're flipping through is your stories.
I love that. Amber, one thing, if you had to do one thing a day or it was a crazy day, what would you say like you absolutely got done for your business?
So for sure, host a post. I feel like that's obviously the biggest thing that grows your business. But for me also is following up. I know, I feel like I follow up, well, I'm guessing more than maybe some. I when I first have a host a post and I have somebody that I talk to that day, I do follow up with them next day, like most. I mean, maybe everybody does, obviously, but I follow up with them the next day, and then I actually follow up with them even like in just a couple days after that, and then on Friday again. So it sometimes is 3 to 4 times in that week, and I really feel like that has helped as well. And it's not in like a badgering way.
Yeah. Since you brought up follow up, let me bounce back to you, Hannah. Do you have like a system or what do you do for follow up? Because I feel like that's something that's so important that people don't necessarily always consider important.
Yeah, so anytime I start a conversation, like if someone's commenting on a host a post and I friend request them and then reply to their message and then send them a message, I mean, reply to their comment and then send them a message. As soon as they respond for the first time, I screenshot it. And I have an iPhone, so it shows up a little picture on the bottom. And in whatever little marker, I'll write the date that it is because when you screenshot, it doesn't show you the date all the time. And then the next day I'll go back through my pictures and I'll write down whoever I need to follow up with. And I'll go back to their messages. Sometimes those people signed and I can delete the picture. Sometimes they give me a date and I can write it down because I'm not always around where like I can write stuff down because I'm back at work now. So even though we're just sitting there doing nothing, I don't always think about writing stuff down in the moment. So I've just gotten in the habit of screenshotting it, and then I can go back through my pictures at night when I get home or the next morning when I do follow-ups. But I typically try and follow up the next day and then again on Fridays. And then anytime that they told me to follow up.
Perfect. I think that's actually, I can't remember, there's a top leader that talks about like screenshotting when you're out and about. And I think that's such a good thing to do because we're always in our camera roll. And I think so many people are out and about and they respond to it. Like we're all busy when we're out and about. And so you don't always think like, oh, I should go back through my message. Like if you're not going back through all of your messages at the end of the day. Okay. Someone asked, are you sending more people, Hannah, from watching or from stories, or would you say it's host to post?
Host to post.
Um,
But I have people that randomly message me that reply to my stories.
mhm.
So.
Okay. What did each of you have to overcome in order to promote to Diamond? And this can be multiple things. Like, what do you, when you look back now that you are a Diamond leader and you look back at, you know, the past couple of years, Hannah, like what did you feel like you had to overcome in order for Diamond to be a reality?
People. I'm just kind of one of those people that like I just kind of put off the impression that I don't want to be talked to. I don't want to engage in the conversation. I don't want to have small talk. And I'm one of those people that usually if something's going to be done, then I'm just going to have to do it myself. And yeah, you can't do that. I mean, I guess you can, but it's 10 times harder when you try and do it all by yourself. And so when you start asking for help and start asking what's working for other people or what other people are doing, it's totally different. But I don't remember what you said again.
What did you have to overcome? That was a really great response, by the way. But what did you have to overcome in order to promote to Diamond? So,
Yeah, so
that was
people and actually asking for help and seeing what's working and not trying to do my own thing and make things up as I go. But also, when I first started, I was terrified to message someone first. Um, I wouldn't. I might have said I was, but I was not doing it. Which is only going to hurt you. Just saying.
Awesome. Amber, what did you have to overcome, or what made you uncomfortable that you eventually got over, like thinking about the last year?
Well, partly not knowing, like I knew that I loved this business, but I missed what I also did in the ER. And I knew that this was what I wanted to do. But my husband, of course, didn't know if I wasn't going back. He wanted me to find a job somewhere. And after doing this and after being a home ec course, I was like, I don't want to go anywhere else. So I think just pretty much getting out of my head, I had to realize that, not to stress about going anywhere else or stress about, like I said, proving myself to him or anyone else. I just needed to make sure that I was doing the things that needed to be done, focus on me and the business. And so pretty much it was kind of getting out of my head.
Awesome. Okay. Someone just made me think of something. Between the two of you, like, what's your favorite product? If you had to name your top 3 favorite products, what would they be?
Keto coffee, the salted caramel, with chocolate greens, and then probably TFX.
Okay. Have you gotten the new TFX yet?
Yes,
Mine just came in yesterday.
mine too.
Okay, I love that. And Hannah, you have weight loss results?
I do.
Okay. So product of the product. Amber, what are your favorites?
So I don't like answering this question just because I do love them all. However, I would say right now my favorites are the Reds and Hydrate and Skinny Brew is what I'm using right now. But I really like the pumpkin spice as well.
I miss that pumpkin spice. I miss it. They better bring it back this fall.
I'm still getting mine on auto shipment.
You what?
I'm still getting mine on auto shipment.
What?
I know. I was wondering because everybody else was like, they're not going to get it anymore. And I keep getting it. So I'm leaving it and I'm letting it go.
Don't change it. That's why Courtney's right. Don't you change that. One of these days we might have to do like a little switcheroo. Like I might have to come over to your house and do a little switcheroo.
Right.
Okay. So let's go. Last little thing. If you could share one tip about going diamond or your business, whatever it is, what would you share, Hannah?
Messaging the people that put up a post for you. I started doing that last month. It started with sending them a message about how I was super grateful that they put the post up for me, and that not only was I going to get them in the giveaway, but I would also get them 40% off if they were interested in any product of their choice. And I signed several customers from that, and now it's kind of progressed into sending them that message, but changing it about the opportunity.
Do you have a script for that, Miss Hannah, that you'd like to share?
Sure. I don't know how to send it in the chat.
If you send it,
Yes.
send it to me or Courtney, and we can get it in the chat.
Okay.
Okay. Amber.
I would say, honestly, doing self-development. I think that is a big thing. And I can really tell the days where I've either got up late and didn't do it or, cut it short or whatever. So I would definitely say some sort of self-development, whether it be reading, praying, journaling. I listen to YouTube videos a lot, like Elevation Church and what have you.
Love it. Oh my gosh. You two, this was like the perfect balance. I love this. I love it, love it, love it. Does anyone have any questions for Amber and Hannah? If you do, drop them in the chat. Yes, Jessica P. I agree. Self-development is so important. any questions for Amber and Hannah? Yes, huge congratulations to both of you. I'm so excited for you guys. And I'm sure, well, okay, here's one more question I have. What's next? Are you gonna hang out at Diamond? Like what are we doing this month?
We're going to double.
Hannah? Yeah, yeah. I like it. I like it. Yep, you're both going double. I love it. So incredible and so amazing. And that's just it, you guys. So many, have seen so many people in this business promote to the rank of diamond. And it's this epic, I mean, it is such a big deal to go diamond in our company. It's a big deal. And I unfortunately have seen a lot of people like slow down or even stop after they go diamond. And so I think that, you know, my biggest tip for anyone that promotes to diamond is to keep going and don't slow down because you hit your goal. Set another goal and keep going. Cause I think so often, you know, it's easy to slow down and be like, oh, like, yes, celebrate it. And you should take a day to celebrate, and then you should get back on the horse and you should keep on rocking it. So especially with bonuses on the line. So, oh, I don't know if Hannah or Amber, I don't know if you know exactly, but you probably actually do. How much volume did how much volume did your team have to bring in last month in order to promote to diamond? Do you guys know like how far away you were from like, I put you on the spot and I didn't tell you to come with that. So it's okay. I just thought that might be inspiring to some people.
I don't remember, but it was a lot.
Okay. Amber, do you remember?
I think it was like 3,500.
Okay.
I could be off.
That sounds right to me. Okay, and Hannah's message is in the chat. So if anyone wants that, you sneak over there and copy and paste it. Thank you for sharing that, Hannah. Okay, so if there aren't any more questions, we'll go ahead and transition to Newbie Power 30. Okay, Tiffany said, Hannah, you needed like 5,000 in volume.
It was a lot.
She's like, I said it was a lot. Okay, I am going to stop the